Welcome back to the show. Another great video. We got real-time gross settlement facility becomes operational in a huge country with massive implications. And then we have two sleeping giants in the crypto space. Who are they? Let's roll that beautiful intro and find out.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. I want to impress upon everybody what a big deal this is. DBS Bank's digital exchange to start trading cryptocurrency next week. This is a big deal. Shout out to DJ Peter Vass on this one. DBS is Piyush Gupta, the CEO of DBS out of Singapore, and not only are they launching and starting to trade cryptocurrencies, but they have been enormous when it comes to facilitating and setting up the new financial payment rails, regulatory sandbox, XRP testing, all of the things that we need to see. Piyush Gupta was also a keynote speaker at the 2019 Swell event, and it is really impressive to see what has taken place over in Singapore with DBS Bank and the position they've taken. And I don't think you're going to find anyone more bullish on where we're going with the new financial system, the use of digital assets to settle those transactions for the banking and financial system than Piyush Gupta. He has become very, very bullish on what's about to go down. Now, real quick here, let's just take a quick look at price. We are looking at Bitcoin right now at 19,188, and let's look at XRP price very quickly right now, and we see that I believe we were at 51 cents is where we are right there. So looking at that and moving on, this is important to note as well. India's banks are once more serving crypto traders and exchanges. Now, we know we went back and forth here and heard just all kinds of FUD back and forth, or, crypto was banned in India, then it wasn't banned in India, and then there was a press release that it never really was banned, and now it's okay. Listen, here's where we are today. India's banks are once more serving crypto traders and exchanges, and it's exciting, but it doesn't stop there. It gets even bigger because it's Shaktikanta Das, and I believe I said that right, Shaktikanta Das from the Reserve Bank of India. Now remember, there is over 1 billion people in India, and it is, if not the largest remittance country in the world, it is one of the largest. So huge implications here. Real-time gross settlement facility becomes operational 24/7 from 12:30 p.m. tonight. Congratulations to the team from RBI, which is the Reserve Bank of India, and IFTAS and the service partners who made this possible. If we look at IFTAS, it is wholly owned by the Reserve Bank of India. It is the Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services. So it makes sense that they're obviously a part of this critical operation to get this facility operational for real-time gross settlements. It is enormous. Like I said, over 1 billion people and a huge, huge economy coming out of there when it comes to supply chains, trade finance, and things of that nature. So this is something to note and to watch. And while that's happening, we know that we just recently had the U.S. lawmakers caution against regulations restricting the use of self-hosted cryptocurrency wallets. Now, I think this is a big deal because one, we're not banning cash wallets that we hold. We shouldn't ban digital wallets that we hold. It's pretty much that simple. And there was a letter that went out to Steve Mnuchin to say as much. And Mnuchin is getting the pushback, obviously, here from that letter and others out in the space that are actually pushing to say, hey, this is going a little too far. Understandably, you want to have transparency. Understandably, you don't want fraud or illicit illicit activity. But if we go with KYC and AML on the front end of the sender and the front end of the receiver, we solve the problem. And it doesn't matter if it comes from an exchange, and it doesn't matter if it comes from a self-hosted cryptocurrency wallet. That's really what we're talking about here. So that to me is something to pay attention to. This is the actual letter, and the key takeaways here are 4 Republican lawmakers have written the Treasury Secretary Mnuchin urging the department to consider stakeholders in the industry before proposing legislation that requires cryptocurrency businesses to identify users of self-hosted wallets in their transactions. What I would say is to this is that I don't think there's a problem with being KYC and AML on this. So, if or at the very least KYT, which is know your transaction. So if we could trace it back to the self-hosted wallet, even, I think that's going to be ample enough to get the job done. But we shall see where this goes. But I believe KYC, AML solves this problem. And you may not like that, because obviously there's a lot of people who came into this space because they want anti-establishment. They want the anonymity of moving money around. Well, that's not the way it works. And at 49 years old, is what I am, it's not what I've noticed that ends up making it when it comes to a legitimate market. You want a legitimate market, we're going to have to know who everybody is. Lawmakers and crypto businesses claim that regulation will be compromised with individual privacy, will compromise individual privacy and add to the administrative burden. Well, I just don't know about that. The battle between the government and crypto community has been brewing for some time now. It has, but listen, let's face facts here. Seeing India roll out what they've done, knowing that there's regulatory sandboxes in the UK and Singapore and Japan, and there's much more clarity. I mean, we've even heard Brad Garlinghouse talk about the clarity we have in all these other places of the world. Well, why aren't they using it? Why aren't they using XRP to settle then? Why isn't the markets that exist between Japan and Singapore and the UK and Singapore and India and all these other places, why are they not connected and settling and using XRP and driving it to the moon with the utility and liquidity that they can bring to the network, regardless of the US and the rest of the world? Well, I think there's the biggest sign right there that this is a universal effort. This is an international effort. This is a coordinated effort that is taking place from the G7 and G20 on down. We have seen the evidence of that, and it still remains that way. That is where we are. And I believe with the U.S. being the largest economy in the world, that is the reason that you're going to see the U.S. go last, because once you let that genie out of the bottle, there'll be no getting it back in. That's what we're looking at here. So now talk about two big sleeping giants in the space. We know one is XRP, and when given the regulatory clarity, I believe that sleeping giant will awake and it will dominate the financial sector of the world, not just the crypto space. I think when we see the regulatory clarity come through for the largest economy of the world, we're going to see really the knee taken out of the back of XRP, and I believe XLM as well. This is not financial advice. It's my own perspective on the market and these technologies, understanding that, the XRP ledger was created by Jed McCaleb, who now is at Stellar Lumens and created Stellar Lumens as well. Understanding that, the XRP ledger and the Stellar network appear to be, how would you say it? The best to be like brother and sister or cousins. You hear people make these analogies. I like to say Stellar always appears to be like front end protocol, front end retail, lots of stable coins, maybe even currency issuance, right? Or we have, XRP, which I believe to be more back end, wholesale, central bank, interbank settlement. And I believe we see it also used back end for trade finances and the derivatives market broadly. Now, does that mean that when I say that those things can't be used by you or I don't believe that. I believe that, yes, we can. I'm talking about the major, use cases that are really the full scale intended use case for these products and protocols. And I believe that's why Stellar XLM and XRP specifically will be sleeping giants. I mean, remember, Jed McCaleb, when he left XRP after creating the ledger, found differences between him and Chris Larson and the direction of the company. He decided to leave. When he left, he took the XRP open source technology code with him because he was the creator of it. And from that became the birth of Stellar Lumens. And that's how you get this stepbrother, stepsister thing going on with XRP XLM. And I think what works good for XRP will absolutely follow suit for working good for XLM. So as far as I'm concerned, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and not too very long from now, the catalyst for this market, it could be that the Japan and Bank of England and other places in the world go first in the implementation of these things, just like we're seeing SBI test has begun already, according to them, with testing XRP in the 6.6 trillion FX market. So it can take off in other places, but I believe the catalyst for the entire world is really the final brink or keystone that needs to drop here for the United States, the largest economy of the world. And in doing so, I believe that will allow these two sleeping giants to really wake up and leapfrog to the front of the pack because of the use case utility that will be put to work now that the clarity is not a question, and more important, liability of these networks, these payment systems, and understanding what the liability issue here for the sender and receiver using these protocols for the first time in the world. So at that level, right, at that banking financial sector level. So very, very important stuff here. I really do believe that what we are about to see with the rollout of regulatory clarity over the next 6 to 8 weeks is really the greatest financial paradigm shift in the history of mankind, because in the same fell swoop moment that I believe we get the clarity we need, and we're going to get it according to Brian Brooks, you have to remember, not only will it open up the ability for banks to use these new payment rails and new payment systems, as Brian Brooks refers to them, but then you also get this massive push and a massive flood of incoming investors that want to put a portion of their retirement portfolios into these products because they understand what it means for them as an investment hedge for them against a traditional market. So it really is twofold, and we're not many weeks away from it happening. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know, and hit that notification bell. And there are some really great specials. There's a 1 month for free with I Trust Capital. Make sure you check it out. I know a lot of people are worried. What if digital assets are a currency, or if they're a property or a commodity or cap gains or ordinary income? You know what? If you're really confused about what to do, go get a I Trust Capital crypto IRA and get it either tax deferred or tax free, and you just can't beat that. Now you talk about peace of mind. That's some peace of mind right there. All right, make sure you check out all the deals in there. There's some really great stuff. 80% off in Pure VPN, and then there's even another deal coming up next week I can't wait to tell you about with Unstoppable Domains. It's going to be really great, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.